Mount Rushmore of the best sports movies.
Okay.
However, we put a little twist as we always do, right?
Do.
And we got to put a disclaimer on top of that twist.
Yes.
So the twist is we are going to stay away from the big three. Big three sports, for example, basketball, football, and baseball.
Yeah, there's so many.
Correct. And those deserve their own episode. And
right.
Humbly in my opinion or your opinion, right? In our opinion. So
well, and you know what? If anybody disagrees, then I don't care anyway. So
correct.
It's our podcast.
So that's one way.
We'll put our own twist on it.
There you go. Oh, good sir.
Man,
we back, but it feels like it's been a while.
It's been a while. Maybe not for the audience.
It's been a minute, right?
But they didn't know we doubled up last time.
We did double up, so it's been a minute.
We had to.
Had to, right? Because you had an outbound.
Man,
hopefully not the
trip
red eye.
of a lifetime. Trip of a lifetime
for you or your son or both.
Bruh, I don't even know, man. Like it's so crazy. So for those who don't know, we're talking about, man, like, I hear a lot of people, especially in this day and age and on podcasts and everybody talking about mental health. And there's actually a lot of positivity out there. Like, believe it or not,
there is.
You can get to a lot of positivity about gratefulness and just, so I had that reflection of just, so I was sitting there in a hotel room in Atlanta, like, I'm very grateful, like, that I have hit the point in my life where I have the means and flexibility to be like, you know what, we're going to take a trip to Atlanta. And I don't want to say money wasn't an object, but like money wasn't really an object, right? And so as far as my son knows, so I took my 10-year-old, we decided that 10 was going to be like a marquee birthday. Okay. Because, most of our birthday, like, super low key, right? Everything's at the house. We don't go rent out those, like, trampoline parks and stuff like that. We just, like, everything's low key, friends at the house, chill, cake, ice cream, some games, sports, whatever. So we're like, all right, at 10, let's do something big. And since he's gotten into football, I was like, I'm going to take him to a Falcons game in person, but in Atlanta. Yeah. Because he's been to a Falcons game in person in D.C. All right, cool. Well, all that comes with that, hotel, flight, etc., was something that we just obviously had to factor in and see. But as, like, my idea started to evolve, and I was like, oh, they do stadium tours. Okay. Oh, we could go check out the College Football Hall of Fame. Okay, that's cool. That's there. Oh, let me see if the Hawks are playing. Hawks are in DC. Coincidentally, we're in DC.
They were in DC
while we were in Atlanta. Go figure. I'm like, all right, well, it's still college football season. Wonder, I could rent a car, drive like hour and a half out to Athens to see a UGA play. Well, UGA, look up their schedule. Oh, they're playing their annual game against Georgia Tech. 10 minutes from the hotel.
Perfect timing.
Just everything lined. So, but then as things lined up, it was change.
Of course.
But that's where the gratefulness came in, like, just to be able to do it where it's not taking food off the table, it's not doing anything like that, but giving him like this epic experience. So the only thing he knew was that we were going to the Falcons game. That's it. It's the only thing he knew we were doing. So we go up early Friday morning, hang out, go to the hotel, try to get checked in. We had to wait a little bit. And then, he was like super excited, like, let's go down to the stadium. And I told him, like, we'll go down and take pictures on Friday. It'll be less busy than game day with a bunch of people in the background and all that, whatever. It's like, we'll go down on Friday, take pictures while it's relaxed. In my mind, I know we're going on the stadium tour, but he doesn't. Right. But like, there's a certain time. So I'm like trying to like press his expectations of like, let's go now with the time we got to be down there. Cause I don't want to sit around for 2-3 hours. So finally we get down there. We actually ended up taking an earlier tour than the one we were scheduled for, which was cool though. But when he realized we were taking a tour, his eyes lit up. We start going inside. He's like, "Oh my God."
OMG.
I was like, "Oh my God." Because
oh, yeah?
if you haven't been to Mercedes-Benz Stadium.
First time?
Bro.
Okay.
I was at Georgia Dome.
Okay.
When, before the Georgia Dome got, got imploded for this. But this stadium is, it's unimaginable. Like,
oh, yeah? It's like that?
You can see the videos, you can see stuff. But until you walk in and then you have that like open area,
the panoramic view,
nothing like it. Like so beautiful. And then it was just really cool. Like got to go down to the suites, the on-field suites, and then the ladies like, "We're gonna go to the locker room," but he didn't hear it. He was like, "Where are we going? Are we going on the field?" I was like, "Yeah, we might go somewhere cooler." He's like, "What do you mean? Like, what could be cooler than the field?" And then she turns around. We went around this little tunnel, and she's like, "All right, we're going to go in the Falcons locker room now." And she was giving us a couple rules, about keeping it nice and not messing it up. And he lost his mind.
I bet he did.
He lost his mind.
That's like a dream spot for adults. Forget kids.
He got to take a picture in front of every favorite player's locker.
Is that like, every player, basically?
Pretty much. It was like we were just walking around the locker room, click, click, click. So funny. Got to go see the Atlanta United locker room too.
Okay.
Got to go on a side of the field. Field was all dressed up for the game, throwback logos. Like it was just the whole thing, bro. So that was Friday. Saturday went to the College Football Hall of Fame. Definitely 10 out of 10. Anybody who wants to learn more about college football history, but also they have like an interactive field where you can practice kicking field goals. You can practice throwing into the QB nets.
Oh, very nice.
From like 20 yards, 30 yards. But that's with the college football, kids. Yeah. Huh. So they had like actual like hands-on exhibits and things you could do.
Is it adults or kids only, or
no? It's both. Yeah.
Okay, nice.
And then they tag your badge to the college when you come in. So when you walk around to some of the exhibits, you scan the badge and it'll talk about your team's particular history.
Look at that technology.
Yeah. So cool. That was fun. And then we went back to the hotel and he was watching college football and he saw Georgia was playing Georgia Tech. He's like, "Man, it would have been so cool if we could go to the game." And I was like, "You know how much money I already paid for this trip?" You think we're going to get to go? Like, nah. Of course, no one.
Is he a fan?
Oh, yeah. He's University of Georgia. Yeah.
Okay.
So knowing then, I already had the tickets in my wallet on my iPhone. So I was like, well, you know what? Let's do this. Let's take an Uber over there. Let's check out the pregame like festivities, activities, get some food, and we'll come back and watch it from the hotel room, right? Okay. And so we go down there, check out the pregame. There's streets are blocked off. Everybody's having fun, whatever. And I was like, well, let's go check out this line over here. Maybe we can get in into a fan section or something. I just made something like completely illogical.
Is Dad doing one of those moves?
He was legit nervous because we were in a line.
Were you getting arrested today?
We had in his mind, we had no tickets, and he was legit anxious about what is Dad doing. But I'm just gonna let Dad be Dad.
My dad about to test the law here.
And we go up to the gate, and I'm like, boop, boop, and he looked up at me like, and with a smile on his face, like
you should have done the.
I did. I pretty much was just like
the Jordan shrug.
I was like, this is your other surprise. So we had a lot of fun. Georgia Tech Stadium. We were up opposite the scoreboard, like all the way at the top.
Okay.
It's just a whole panoramic view of the city, like all the buildings.
Like that. Wow,
so beautiful, so beautiful. A lot of stairs to get up there now.
So the Mercedes-Benz is indoors, right? That's an
indoor
stadium.
But it has a retractable roof.
Okay, so it's a convertible. but the Georgia one is the
Georgia Tech.
Georgia Tech is
that was
open
outdoor.
outdoor. Okay, in the elements.
Yeah, but that one, and that was a lot of rows to get to the top.
Okay. I bet. I mean,
after we had already had to climb a lot of stairs to get up there, and I looked up like, oh, we got another 40 rows to climb.
You're like, you got to go to the bathroom now,
but in their bleacher style too. Woo. Yeah, it's like college football.
Steep. Oh wow.
Okay. Yeah, 40 rows of bleachers.
Oh man. All right. Well.
But it was like the view, everything. Like you couldn't.
Okay.
Couldn't beat it. It was great.
Okay.
It was great.
So my main question though is, did both of your teams win?
So Georgia won.
Okay.
And then we went to the Falcons game on Sunday. Falcons won, and again, same thing. Like they have the Home Depot backyard tailgate experience, and like they have all this stuff set up for kids. They had a tire thing you could throw the footballs through. They had a bounce house set up. They had guys with pads where you like run through and trying to get you to stop. And then you tackle the dummy. Like you can get free face painting done. That's fun. You know, met some people. Met the DJ. He used to be the Hawks. I mean, the Wizards DJ back here in DC a long time ago from 106 in Park. That's Big Tigger.
BET, right?
But then he moved down. He's ATL? The Hawks and the Falcons. Big Tigger.
Big Tigger. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
We got to meet him.
I remember
him
from the basement.
Yeah, from the basement back in the day.
Yeah. Isn't that where Lil Wayne's infamous, where he threw the right? Yeah.
Yeah.
The lighter.
So, he was out there chilling with the fans. So yeah, it's just like a just all around like cool experience. My son wants to move there now.
Of course he does. Well, you want to move there, don't you? So
I've always wanted to move there. The thing that I try to explain the difference coming back up here is everything up here is so fast paced and everybody's about their own lives. So everything's just like rush, fast paced.
Yep.
And when I was down there, maybe because it was a vacation for me, I don't know, but it's just like everything like slowed down.
Yep.
And it was chill.
Yep.
People are nice.
Yep. Southern hospitality.
Like, man. Yeah. It's just everything was like cool and chill. Just the vibe was completely different.
So that's funny you mentioned that, because when I moved here from the Jersey, New York area, I felt that coming here. So now if I go further south, right? So I feel like the farther north you go, the more hectic and fast paced it gets.
I think New York, especially in the New York area or surrounding area for sure. Then the DC is a little bit more.
But then as further south you go,
like I mean, I don't know about other cities, but I know that one, every time I'm there, I'm reminded of like, oh, this is my vibe for sure.
Oh yeah, no, I agree. Sure. People I feel like are more, they have more time for more focus on like family oriented, like, you know, slow down. Let's just enjoy life.
Right.
It's not always stress, rush. So
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. So it was a memorable experience. I'm so glad I have the opportunity to give that to him.
Oh yeah.
And like that's just one of those father-son bonding moments that we're gonna have forever.
That's a marquee 10th and never ever gonna be single digits again. And this is how I enter my double digits.
Right. Yeah. So we decided 10, 16.
Okay.
And then probably 21.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh. All right. Well, if I was to, or if you were to define this whole experience in one word, what would it be?
That's so tough. In one word?
One word.
I would just say memorable.
Memorable? Okay.
Just because of the memories that are gonna, like, you can take everything else away. You could take all the pictures away, and like at the end of the day, the memory is gonna remain
between you two, right?
Between the two of us, and that's just like something. And I didn't have the means to go on a ton of vacation. Like I got to go a couple of places when I was a kid, but like I mean, my entire childhood, I probably went on 3 vacations.
Yeah,
my whole I think we made it to Florida once with my mom. I made it up to Boston area with my dad, but like other than that, there was no real major like vacation. We did day trips to other places, but like no real like
Right, overnight,
vacation, nothing like this. Nothing like this. And that's just, like, again, going back to the second word, gratefulness of just being grateful that, where we are in life.
Can I add a word to that, if you don't mind? Blessed.
Humbled.
Humble, right? Those are like, yeah, our kids are privileged. Is what I'll say.
Bruh.
But this is what we work for as parents, right?
So privileged.
Yeah. So, all right, cool.
Yes, sir. But I'm back.
You're back, and we're happy to have you back. And so let's get the episode going.
Let's go.
All right. So because you guys came from, what I'll say is this: you guys went to, so there's Hollywood, right? Then DC is known as, and some may get mad at me for saying this. DC is known as Ugly Hollywood.
Because of all the politics?
Because of the celebrities here, but there's not the, camera friendly faces that we want to see type, maybe. And then Atlanta is the other part of Hollywood where there's a lot of movies, a lot of entertainment that comes out of that, that area or that state or that city.
Speaking of entertainment that comes out of that city, one last thing, the Falcons' 50th anniversary of hip hop. Concert. Talk about entertainment, man. Like, and Atlanta gets a lot of flack from the national media about not being a sports town, and it may have been because they were doing this 50th anniversary. Plus, we were playing the Saints, which was a rivalry game. Because I heard our coach talk about it afterwards in an interview, how that was the loudest he's ever heard the stadium since he's been there for 3 years now, almost 3 years now. But I was just like, I was sitting there like, how does the national media say that we're not a sports town? Because it was rocking. But Bone Crusher came on, man. He had everybody talk about we ain't never scared. We ain't never scared. Like the whole Benz was like throwback. We ain't never scared. And then they had Jeezy. They had T.I. bring the players out with bring them out, bring them out, bring them out, bring them out. And then they had Luda. I don't know if you saw the clips about Luda repelled. It was like right next to us. Yeah. He repelled down, going, move, get out the way. Get out. So much so that there's a clip of Jameis Winston, the Saints backup quarterback, singing that song to Derek Carr, the starting quarterback, of going move, like just the whole stadium was rocking.
Wow,
and
it's like a concert,
bro. The whole energy, like I'm telling you, Dylan, he was like, I want to come back, season tickets, like everything, because the entire energy was. So
if he wasn't a fan, like a lifelong fan before, now he's for sure lifelong fan. Period.
Like there's nothing I think that can pull him away.
Man, that's what's up.
That was just like crazy.
That's what's up.
So yeah, when you talk about celebrities, like they were out. They had over 50 or so rappers.
Wow.
And musicians. TLC performed.
Okay.
Wow. Not just rappers. They had TLC as well. Like they had everybody.
Yeah, a lot of talent comes out of that area. A lot of musical talent comes out of that area. So naturally that plus the shows, like, there's a lot of TV serials that come out of there. A lot of movies get shot out there. So
I've had We Ain't Never Scared
stuck in your head?
Stuck in my head. Bone Crusher. I had to listen to it a few times on Spotify because he tore that joint down like in less than 3 minutes.
Wow.
Had the entire stadium going nuts.
Man, that's what's up. That's why they are who they are.
Yeah. Right? Some of the other performers, it was like, Jermaine Dupri did the normal, welcome to Atlanta. And it was okay.
What about that other group, the Quavo and those guys?
So they had Quavo perform. He walked in from the street and then went up to the top, the very, 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 very top where Luda ended up coming down, and he was performing from the very, very top of the Benz.
Okay.
It was very creative because they had them all in different places.
Right.
Like they were all in different parts of the stadium where they performed. Yeah, nobody performed in the same spot.
I like that. I like that. So with all that said, I figured it only makes sense that in honor of your trip and this experience, we should do an entertainment version episode.
Okay.
Where we do our Mount Rushmore of the best sports movies.
Okay.
However, comma, we put a little twist as we always do, right? And we got to put a disclaimer on top of that twist.
Yes.
So the twist is we are going to stay away from the big three sports, for example, basketball, football, and baseball.
Yeah. There's so many.
Correct. And those deserve their own episode. And
right.
You know, humbly in my opinion or in your opinion, right? In our opinion. So
well, and you know what? If anybody disagrees, then I don't care anyway. So
correct.
It's our podcast.
So that's one way.
We'll put our own twist on it.
There you go, right? And we don't want to do easy layups.
No.
It's got to be contested. It's got to be a tough one. So we're going to stay away from basketball, football, and baseball. And we're going to do our top hours.
That's the disclaimer.
Hours.
We got to say this every time because even when like this gets posted up into smaller clips.
I saw that.
And then people are like, well, you forgot about like, no, that's the easy one. You got to listen to the whole episode.
So then I have to go in and like, respond to them. Yeah, we know.
Just listen to the whole episode.
Correct. Like that. Yeah, we know this. But this is too easy. Right. So before you come attacking us.
Right.
Listen to the whole thing.
Right. But then this one will be a little bit different though, because we're not ranking necessarily the best, but like
correct.
These are our personal favorites.
Absolutely.
And ones that we would like to watch.
And away from those main sports. That's the key thing here, right? I know, you missed the most obvious one. No, we didn't.
Mm-hmm.
We're giving those their due diligence in another episode is what we're doing.
Correct.
So bear with us on that. We'll get there. All right. So, sir, I wanna let you, since you have this experience, you're fresh in your mind. You saw all these celebrities, all these entertainers.
Okay.
Why don't you kick us off with your first spot on your Mount Rushmore of?
I should have found an Atlanta movie, but I'm gonna shift to a different city.
Okay.
The first one, man. This is just. And some of it's going to be based on where we were born and generations and all that. Of course. But man, this was one to me that I could watch growing up, and I'm going to start. I'm going to start outside of the lines.
Let's do it
because I don't care.
It's your podcast.
It's our podcast. Yeah. But I'm not going to choose one. But I'm choosing an entire series.
Okay.
A franchise.
Sure.
I'm choosing a franchise.
I already know where he's going. Anyway, go ahead.
I don't know if you do or not. We'll see.
Okay.
But I'm choosing a franchise. Movie that I watched over and over and over again as a kid. Like this is back when there was these things called VCRs.
Yep.
And then the Disney had like the plastic cases that like the white thick plastic.
Yes.
And
the Blockbuster videos, those ones.
I had a whole bunch of different kids movies for kids Disney movies in these old cases. But anyway, y'all look up VCRs. So, young kids out there don't know what that is.
Maybe I'll bring one. I'll put one up on there so y'all can see it.
But my series is The Mighty Ducks. I don't know if that's where you thought I was going.
So that was one part of
Okay. So well, that I wasn't sure if you would think that, but The Mighty Ducks. So to me, my favorite is D2. My favorite because that's where. So D1 is the classic. That's like. I could watch that over and over and over again. I like D1. I like D2 because then it took all the classic, but then they went to the Olympics. So then it was Team USA.
Sure.
And they incorporated a couple new characters into it, but it's still like, man, how can you go wrong? You got Gordon Bombay, you got Charlie Conway, you got Adam Banks, Fulton Reed, Goldberg, the original Goldberg.
I'm gonna have to refresh myself.
The original Goldberg. And then you got the whole you got quotes from it like you've got the flying V formation and you got ducks fly together.
That's
right. So there was a moral to the story about and that was another thing that as I look back at it now, I was like, there's morals to the end goal of the story as well, and this one about being ducks fly together. But lastly, I mean, how can you not put a movie or a franchise like that on your Mount Rushmore when they created an entire team for the Ducks?
Yeah, that's true.
In the NHL.
That's right. They did.
The Anaheim Ducks.
That's right.
After this, I mean, you parlay your franchise movie into an actual team.
Yeah, that's
the Mighty Ducks with the same logo, the duck and the hockey sticks. Yeah, man, that's fire, man.
That is fire.
That's fire. So mine is the Mighty Ducks franchise, number one.
It's been a minute. So that's your top.
That's my
you're ranking this.
That was my number one.
Wow.
Ranked number one.
Okay. So I'm going to color Outside the Lines as well here, but I'm going to do it in a different way, which may make you a little irked.
Okay.
So I'm going to do I have my list, but I have my Eastern Hemisphere and Western Hemisphere list. Right? So there's Hollywood.
And Bollywood? Oh, dear. That's funny.
So I'm going to do my Bollywood list as well.
All right.
Just little culture into this.
A little dabble.
Yeah, I mean, it's our podcast.
Let's do it.
So my for Western, the Hollywood is my all-time. I could watch this anytime, any place. Is Happy Gilmore. Happy Gilmore is my top of the top. I don't even want to it doesn't matter when it's on, at what point it's on, I will tune in right at where I tune in, where it comes on. It's one of those movies for me. Happy Gilmore also put an interest in me, who was I just learned, we just moved here to America recently when it was coming out. And it was very I've seen golf being played, but he came and did this thing with golf, which made it fun. Although it wasn't real, but it just made it fun. I'm like, oh yeah. So us kids would go out and just literally go and imitate him in the middle of the suburbs, hitting people's homes and cars just because we were imitating what he was doing. And it was just the most fun thing to do. Just get a golf club, get whatever driver you can find. I don't even know the names of all the ones. But
well, that's how culturally relevant it is, right? Because people do that at Topgolf now.
Exactly.
They do the Happy Gilmore swing.
Yes.
That's how it's stuck, culturally relevant. Yes. It's stuck around that long.
Yes. So Happy Gilmore for me on that side. And then the other let's go to Bollywood. And I'm ranking these, but I'm gonna do this one from bottom up rather than top down. Happy was at the top. But bottom up is this movie called 83. And 83 is basically, it was back in 1983. And most of my movies that I'm going to say are fiction, right? They're all real. It happened. Is it fiction? Is that nonfiction? I can't remember.
It'd be nonfiction.
So nonfiction, right? This happened in real life. A lot of this happened, and these are based off real biopics of moments in history that happened. So this was on, let me make sure I get my dates correct here. On June 25th, 1983, there was a cricket ground, and it was a cricket match. So back home, cricket is the big sport, right? It's either cricket, field hockey, and those type of sports. So, and this was basically about a team that came in and that was not expected to win at all in any way, shape, or form. And they played champions who won 2 years in a row. India was unranked, not even supposed to be there. They were looked at as laughing stocks. And they got to a point where they looked at oh yeah, this is easy work, right? Except their captain was so sheer determined and so talented that he single-handedly just took them to the final round. But the thing with cricket is, it is such a long sport. It's a multi-day sport. It's not a sport that you watch and you finish in an hour and a half or 2 hours, 3 hours. It literally goes a day, a couple of days. So this guy literally, the strength and the endurance and the stamina that when the whole team was about to fail, he came in and he carried that team on his back and he took them to the finals. And the finals, they persevered. And at the end of the day, they beat that team who came in real cocky and real yeah, we got this. This is easy work. We're back-to-back champions. This is unranked team luckily made it, I guess the Cavs or the Dubs, right? Nah, we got this. And then look what happened. India beat them, and that was history, and that was history, right? It spoke for itself after that. And then India kind of got on the map. Now, to date, present day, India is always in the top 4 in cricket finals, always. And right now, they just lost actually in the finals against Australia. And Australia is known as a cricket powerhouse. So India, cricket, I'm sorry, India, Australia, I think New Zealand, and Pakistan. I think they're all like cricket powerhouses globally.
Okay.
So
that was
and this kind of kicked it off, I believe. And if I'm not a cricket expert here, aficionado. So if I got this wrong, it's all right. Y'all can let me know. Let me know in the comments.
You
like y'all already do.
Coming in the comments.
I ain't worried about it, man. I ain't worried about it.
They ain't coming for me.
I ain't worried about it. Bring it on. So that's mine. So both sides.
All right. My number 2. Listen, you don't understand that Adam Sandler is my GOAT.
I know.
And
I think I stole yours.
My number 2 is Happy Gilmore. I mean, bro, my first Adam Sandler movie was Billy Madison, and it was Billy Madison, Happy Gilmore, Waterboy, Big Daddy, Little Nicky. Like, it just went on and on from there. And I was like, nope, Adam Sandler is my GOAT.
He does a lot of sports movies too on top of that. So
he's done a lot of great work over his career. Yeah. But Happy Gilmore is a cult classic.
Absolutely.
Like, how can you? I'm not surprised we both have it on our list. But I had a couple of additional points to add to why it is. Number 1, you've got a character that's gone down in infamy and Shooter McGavin. I mean, to the point now where he has a active Twitter account for Shooter McGavin. Yeah. Like, when people take pictures with him, they don't take pictures with the actor.
Right, Shooter.
Nobody knows his name. They take pictures with Shooter McGavin. Right. And then they have the one quote from the movie where he was talking junk with Happy Gilmore.
Lay by the bed.
And he says, "I eat pieces of shit like you for breakfast," which then ended up becoming a line in Kanye's Jesus Walks, right? Where he said, "I eat pieces of shit like you for breakfast." What? You eat pieces of shit? What's the basis? Right? From that movie. So again, like, that's how strong of a movie it is if you're going to get, you
crosses boundaries, all that.
Everything. So Happy Gilmore was... That was money for me.
That was money.
So thank you for stealing it, sir.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
I just had to bite my tongue. I said,
So I saw your face. I'm like, I think I got him. I'm surprised it wasn't number 1 on your list. That's what I'm surprised about.
No, just because that came a little bit later. So when I was younger, it was...
Got it.
Bro, I used to watch the Mighty Ducks movie like in the summertime when there's not that much to do. Friends weren't available.
Okay.
I had that Mighty Ducks in rotation.
Okay. All right. Well, my next one is similar to your first one. Is also a series from back in the day, and this series was my introduction to the sport in more of a movie sense, and they really took the sport and made it. There's a lot of like behind the scenes work for preparing for this sport that they were going to partake in. And this sport has a statue. You probably already know what I'm talking about. Yeah, there's a statue of this sport where it inspires people to and uplifts them. Any clue? No?
No idea where you're going.
Philly? Stairs?
Oh.
The Rocky series?
I kind of thought you were going to go with Rocky. Yeah.
The Rocky series. Rocky Balboa.
Bro. So listen. We just gotta put it out there up front. Because you're gonna get grief no matter what.
Sure.
But you're gonna have to put on record what your favorite Rocky is.
Oh yeah, sure.
Okay.
Rocky 4.
Oh, okay.
Rocky 4. I was just about to say
my bad. I didn't want to steal your thunder.
No.
Anytime you bring up Rocky, everybody's like, "Well, what's your favorite one?"
No.
Because that's a...
Yeah, of course it is.
Okay.
And I was gonna say specifically Rocky 4.
Okay.
That was my first Rocky I got to watch.
Okay.
And I loved it. It was awesome. Like that my friend, like his friend obviously got killed in the ring by Ivan Drago. And he comes back and he trains hard. He goes and in the snow and he's working out, and while that guy's working in a gym, he's working out in the snow and the outdoors, and like that whole, and the music behind it, like it was inspiration. Like I was ready to all right, let's go. Like, so every time I wanted to go out and like hoop, I would listen to that music and just envision him working out. Like, and then that was like, oh man. And then like that physique and like the way he built himself to go in there and like, destroy this guy. And they also looked at him like, oh, he's coming into our land and he's whatever. He's a little like, until he wasn't, and he beat their champion, and from there it was a wrap.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was on that side. The other side, real quickly, was a movie called Gold. Gold. This is on the Bollywood side. Movie called Gold. This was another one revolving around the countries. India's first Olympic gold medal as an independent nation. Because before that they had won, but it was under the British flag. So after they got their independence, now they won as a, so when, like when you're standing on stage, and you see your flag,
your anthem.
Exactly. Your anthem. So it was a big deal for them. Like this was their first ever, and this was the sport of field hockey, by the way. So it was a big deal. Like as a country, this was your first one as an independent nation. I mean, so that was a big one for, when I saw it, it was like, I felt it like, oh wow, like this is deep. It was deep for the, as a country, or any country that as an independent country to win your first one it's a historical moment. Okay. So let me pass it over to you.
All right. So I kind of knew you were going to pick the Rocky series.
Sure.
So, and it has actually worked out well because I'm not a big boxing fan. So I'm very, very casual. So I was like, he'll probably pick Rocky and I'll just stay away from all that. The next one I had, so the next two are no particular order, but the next one I had trouble with an honorable mention. So this is like my last one in, but I'm saving the last one for last.
Okay.
And this one could have went anyway with one of my honorable mentions, but I snuck it in there because I'm a comedy guy when it comes to movies.
Sure.
And so I went with Dodgeball.
Oh, that's right.
Dodgeball, Ben Stiller, Justin Long, Vince Vaughn, Jason Bateman. Like the list goes on. The number of cameos that they had in there. And bro, what's better than if you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball.
There you go.
Like
that's a bar.
What is a bar? That's an RBA bar. Like you literally are RBA. If you can dodge a wrench,
you can dodge a ball.
You can dodge a ball. But I mean, like,
should have brought a wrench in here.
I mean, between Ben Stiller, Vince Vaughn, the acting, like the comedy was everything's over the top, and you can't not watch that movie and have fun.
Yeah, that's a very throwback. Turn my brain off and just have fun type of movie.
It's freaking Dodgeball. Like,
you know what I loved about that movie? It brought me back to like grade school.
Yeah,
and because that's how you grew up. You played dodgeball.
It's competitive dodgeball,
right? When it rained outside, we played dodgeball. So
you look forward to playing dodgeball,
and it was nothing more fun than willing kid with the ball.
see, for me, it was the catch.
Was it?
Okay. It was you think you're gonna get me? Psych. Psych. I'm gonna one hand that bitch.
See, for me, it was more so like coming in, doing the pump fake, getting him to bite, and then slamming that, hit him with the ball. Like that was for me, and especially when the ball curves. Oh, that you put the right spin on it.
Yeah, no, I was good at catching.
You were good at the catching guy. All right.
Yeah,
that means I had to hit you on your shins, not
not with the wrench. So Dodgeball.
I like that one. That's a good one. All right. So I'm going to go with my next one. Again, taking it back, dating myself. And if I say one word or one phrase, you automatically know what movie this is. It's that kind of movie. A single phrase will tell you what movie this is. Wax on. Wax off. Wax on, wax off.
Wax on, wax off.
And has nothing to do with the sport.
Right.
Has nothing to that phrase has nothing to do with the sport.
But we remember it.
But the motion has everything to do with the sport. Right? Wax on, wax off. Karate Kid. The original Karate Kid. Mr. Miyagi.
Not the one with Jaden Smith?
No, please stop. The original Karate Kid, right at the end where he does the infamous pose, which is like the most unrealistic thing ever. Like, but it worked for him. It worked for him. And Mr. Miyagi was like the sensei who came in and helped this kid who was getting bullied, and they were kind of cheating almost, but he persevered, got over the adversity, and handled business. So yeah, Karate Kid was from my on that side, and real quickly on the other side, this movie is called Dangal, Dangal, and it's about a man who was in Olympic wrestling, like floor mat wrestling, and he couldn't quite win, so then he basically took a promise that I'm gonna train my son to go and go win that gold. He never had a son though. He ended up having 4 daughters in an attempt to try to have a son. So what happened was his daughters ended up beating up boys because they would pick on them, and then the daughters would end up beating the boys up. So he said, wait a minute, they're tough. So he started training them and trained them to go and compete in the Olympics to even make it. The thing here is though, back in that side of the world, and as bad as it sounds or as unfair as it is, that's not a sport women are generally, allowed to, or let's say encouraged to participate in, nor exceed or excel in, or have the resources given to them to go and become somebody in that sport. So he challenged an entire system, took on that societal pressure, ignored it and fought it, and trained his daughters, both of them, to go and become what he was inspiring to become. And they went. One of them won gold and one of them won silver. So, and this was at the 2010 Commonwealth Games. And so his name is Mahavir Phogat, and his daughter's name is, I want to get this right now, is Babita Kumari and Geeta Phogat, who both went and fulfilled his dream. So a real life story. What makes it, and this is about, you can also say he was not ahead of his time, but he was very much about gender equality, right? Why can't women do what men can't? Right. Or what men can? They can do the same thing. And he went and did it. But he did it in a part of the world where it's not really encouraged, nor the resources are provided and given. So he went and made his own mat, his own training session, his own training. He did everything scratch from bottom up without any sort of funds given to him initially to get these girls ready to go and get those medals. So that was a big deal. Like I loved watching that movie. So
your Bollywood example is dope, but I got an unpopular opinion.
Sure.
I don't like Karate Kid. I can't get with Karate Kid.
Now they're gonna come at you, my man.
They're coming. So I know they're gonna come at me, but I couldn't get
any of the Karate Kids.
I couldn't get down with Karate.
Any
Kid.
of them?
Nah.
Oh wow! Even this new Cobra Kai, because I haven't watched it.
Cobra what? No. Don't like Karate Kid.
Okay. Wow.
So they're gonna come at me.
That's a bold statement,
and I'll be ready for it. That's fine.
All right.
Especially with where I'm gonna go next.
Okay.
So my last one, you would never guess this in a million years.
Okay.
And you know me well. But you would never guess this. I don't even know if you know. I don't even know if you know this movie or ever even heard of this movie.
Okay.
This might be my own Bollywood movie, but who knows? You might have heard of it. Or you can act like you did. I don't know. But this was another one, man. I just remember as being part of the rotation in the summers, and I could watch it over and over and over again. There's so many good lines. But feel the rhythm. Feel the rhyme. Get on up. It's bobsled time.
Oh, is it Cool Runnings?
Cool
Runnings, yeah.
Fucking
I
Runnings.
I don't know about that.
Cool Runnings, bruh. Cool Runnings is a GOAT.
That is a GOAT movie.
Classic.
That's what bobsledding, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
About the a Jamaican bobsled team. It's loosely based off of a true story. Jamaican bobsled team from the 80s. I think they made the movie in 93. That, a Jamaican bobsled team, like,
where are they training?
Trying to qualify for the Olympics. And they end up getting there. They end up crashing, though. But when they made it back to the next year, they were actually looked at as like legitimate competition and taken seriously because they weren't the first time. And just goes back to the moral of the story is about perseverance and fighting through adversity, even though they didn't have any money or funding or anything. They still didn't just give up their dream of having a bobsled. So he said, my man said a bobsled like on ice. Right. Like, what are we doing? But and so like most of the stuff from the movie, like the crash, everything was kind of accurate, except for that line that I said. Okay. The line that was totally Hollywood. But like, that's what you remember, right? Feel the rhythm, feel the rhyme. Yep. Get on up his bobsled top. Can't beat it.
That's a classic. That's a classic.
Cool.
But I'm kind of like a little disappointed. You think I wouldn't know that? Come on now.
I mean,
come on.
I don't know.
Can't underestimate your boy like that much.
I mean, cool. Like, not a lot of people.
That's true. That's true. So I like that one. I'm gonna go with another classic per se, and this is from a genre or an era where this guy was like the in thing, and he was very like a smooth, suave type actor slash. He had these very funny type of lines, but then not funny, but like very like corny yet like suave type lines. And then he had this like fighting style that was very like catchy at that time. And there was one particular movie, and I remember a lot of us friends will like mimic this like one part of this movie a lot, and this was Bloodsport. I don't know if you ever seen Bloodsport. It was about basically, it's like forgive me if I get this wrong, some sort of martial arts type related movie where it was more so like floor mat type, like guys just dueling it out till one is standing basically. And it was Jean-Claude Van Damme, and he was the main actor in this. And that movie, like he would basically fight his way up to eventually go against like the top dog. And by the time, because he was the new guy, and by the time he got there, he was already like banged up and bruised, and this guy just kind of waiting for him. And it was that, and there was this thing about like the way he fought, because at the end of the movie, when they're fighting, the guy throws like, the bad guy's always gonna cheat and do something, and he throws some stuff in his eyes, and now he can't see, so he has to like channel his like inner Zen and his sensei teaching him how to fight, catch fish without being able to see and whatever. Mm-hmm. And he does this. He beats the guy obviously at the end, but it's like this slow motion thing where at the end he's like, ooh, and there's like this over exaggeration of the expression. So we would like mimic that when we were fighting each other, or like when kids are playing, and we would do this like,
what were y'all doing in Jersey,
dude? We were bored. You know what? We didn't have these, and we played outside.
You should have been watching the Mighty Ducks.
No. Well, I did.
See, we going back to that karate side. I can't get with it.
But you know what though? I gotta say this, and I know people are gonna come at me for not saying this, because I'm going karate side. One of the goat movies, or just series of goat movies, was by Bruce Lee. Bruce Lee's Enter the Dragon is by far. It's on my beyond Mount Rushmore. It's like it was Mount Rushmore, like another spot like that was above it, and then Mount Rushmore started. Is Enter the Dragon. That's how amazing that movie was to me. Enter the Dragon. No movie can touch that for sports for me, at all.
Interesting.
At all.
Okay.
So that's my respect to Bruce Lee.
Okay. Respect.
Yeah. Speaking of, we should have put a Bruce Lee poster.
I know, you took it down.
But these are the goats.
These are nice.
Yeah. So
okay.
On the other side, my bad. Kind of went dragged on that one. My other one on the Bollywood side is my my most favorite movie, sports related movie, is called Bhag Milkha Bhag, which is basically a story about Milkha Singh, who was dubbed the Flying Sikh because of how fast he ran at that point in time. He had the Olympic record for the 400 meters. And his story that's what really hits us, is that so there's some, without getting too deep into this, this is the part of India, the time in India when India was not divided yet. 1947 is a very, very troublesome, traumatic time in our history where India was divided, where Pakistan and India were divided separately. It used to be one big country in Punjab, used to be a big state, and then it was divided. So Pakistan became its own country, and then India came. And what happened was everybody on the Pakistan side who were Indians and Sikh had to quickly get over to the India side, and likewise on the other way. And anybody that wasn't able to was killed or massacred or butchered. People's homes were stolen, families were lost, killed, people separated, had no idea. And my family also was part of that. My grandparents had to kind of similar story. So it's kind of hit home in that sense. And Milkha Singh was in a similar situation at that time. So there were millions of people who got impacted by this. His family was killed. His parents were butchered in front of him. He was their child. And the last words he heard his father say to him was Bhag Milkha Bhag, meaning run Milkha run, is what that means. So the movie, that's the title. And from that point, he was homeless. He had nothing. And he had to basically build a life in this new land that he'd never been to as a child without parents, lost. So he joined the army, and then slowly, he got into running. He saw running because what happened was they were offering you free food, extra food, and more rest if you were able to win a race. I bet. That was his motivation, right? He was homeless and he struggled. So he's like, I'm going to win. He won. He got noticed. They started somewhat training him. And slowly, he got to the point where, he promised he'd never go back there again. What happens is, eventually he starts winning and he gets to the Olympics and he won. I think he won one of them. Then he lost the next Olympics, and he was known as like the guy at that point. This is back in 1958. That's where he set the record in Tokyo in the Asia Games. So now what happened was in 1960 in Rome he lost, and then in 1969 there were international athletics competition in Pakistan, the country where his parents were killed and where he had to flee. They invited him after all these years that we want you to come and participate. And he's like, yeah, I don't know, because there's too many traumatic, memories. I don't know if I will be able to. Nevertheless, he RBA'd it, went, and they had this like elite runner who was unbeatable. So it was like a big thing, like especially in these two countries that even to date don't, there's this animosity amongst each other, which is idiotic in my opinion, however. And he ran the race in their country, but his original home country. He beat the guy. And the prime minister or the president of that country dubbed him the Flying Sikh. Gave him his nickname, which lasted him throughout the rest of his career. And he actually passed away 2 years ago. But he's an inspiration. And then the Indian president, the day he broke the record, was like this Mamba Day, there's Milkha Singh Day back home. So his story of coming from that to where he got to is untouchable. Like for me, like that's one of the most like elite stories in sports history on the Bollywood side. So
just dropping so much education.
I mean, I hope I got it right. I hope I got it right. I know it's gonna be, my bad if I got some details wrong, but I'm trying to educate, right?
I learned a lot. I learned a lot already.
Yeah, so
I have to watch some of these Bollywood movies.
Yeah, well, they're subtitles, so
I mean, I hope so.
But we know what's amazing about the movie though is the actor. His commitment to the role was amazing. Like this guy is a regular dude, but the way he transformed his body for this role was, oh my God, elite. So truly committed to his role.
The Christian Bale of...
Correct. There you go.
Because he's like the goat of
that's it.
Transform his body.
There you go. Same thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, real quick before you wrap up, I got two honorable mentions that I just want to shout out because it was hard to put this list together and there were two that I really struggle with wanting to put in there. One was Talladega Nights.
Oh yeah.
Ricky Bobby.
Yeah.
If you're not first, you're last.
That's right.
Or the other quote that I still use is "Sweet Baby Jesus." So Talladega Nights was another big one.
Yes.
And they made. I mean, him and John C. Reilly made so many good movies together.
Yeah. Oh my God.
So there was that, and then the other one was The Dude Abides. The Big Lebowski.
Oh, The Big Lebowski. Yeah.
The Big Lebowski. Because I feel like somebody's going to be like, how could you not put in the Big Lebowski? And for me, it was because while it was a bullying movie, it was less about bullying. But like, still such a great movie.
It was.
Like,
it was.
Again, like cult classics. It's
is.
Like, that you just can't go wrong with. So
can I give you my honorable mentions that I had tough time? So one was Jerry Maguire.
But that was a football movie.
But it wasn't though.
But it was
more so about the agent's life, more so than a football player.
I considered it, but I still was like, it's still a football movie.
That was me towing the line.
Yeah,
right?
But that's a great movie. That one might make it on my Mount Rushmore for football. And then my other ones for Bollywood. One was a movie called Lagan. Lagan was about just way back, and it's not a real story. It could have been, but based on this movie, it's not a real story. Just about a village in India that was when India was under British rule. They were taxed. You know, they would tax villages, tax their citizens and whatever. And these citizens wanted to fight back because those taxes were a little bit. Apparently, this colonel was a little ruthless, so they challenged them to a cricket match, a sport they never played. They had no idea how to play. They didn't know the rules. That if we beat you, you stop taxing us for 3 years. Or if they said, oh, fine, if we beat you, then we're going to double the tax. So the stakes are high on both ends. Long story short, they get a little insider help on how the rules and all that. And eventually, some luck, and they beat the British. And now they're tax-free for 3 years. The other one was a movie called, and a lot of people are going to know this one, Bend It Like Beckham. Bend It Like Beckham was close to my heart because there's so many cultural references of our personal lives with our families. Like we have our family life. The immigrant parents come to Western society and then they have to blend in and balance their culture and also when in Rome. Yep. And the struggles they find themselves in, the child especially, because now the child is growing up in Western society but trying to hold on to Eastern values. And it's like a tough line to toe. And it really hit home because that's kind of like how a lot of my generation came in when similar to that. And there's a lot of like just quirky, funny lines. And I was wondering if you were going to have Bend It Like Beckham on there.
Of course, I have to. So
they didn't make the Mount Rushmore, but
no, because those other movies were just come on, those are real life stories. You can't compete to that.
True.
So, anything else, sir?
No.
But this was fun. Like I learned a few things.
Yeah,
I learned a few things.
I learned a lot of things to go brush up on my my Bollywood sports movies.
And I'm gonna go back and brush up on some of these older movies I was hearing you speak about. Speaking about. I would have liked to watch them before we. I know. But I don't have that much time to watch every single one. But I hope you guys enjoyed it. You guys get a chance to watch them, and
I'm very curious to see what they come up with.
Oh God, don't butcher us too much. But even if you do, we're for it. So with that being said, I'm glad you had a fun trip in Atlanta.
Yes, sir.
And Dylan, man, I hope your daddy's dad of the year.
Oh, I told him I'm winning. I'm
daddy of the year.
I'm a better win dad of the year this year.
Yeah, absolutely. So with that being said, sir, until next time.
And just one quick shout out to everybody that is listening. Please like, follow, subscribe everywhere. Help us boost our numbers up and continue to grow.
Think RBA.
Appreciate it. Peace.